Welcome to Called to Homeschool with your host, Meg Thomas. I am a mother of 7 with 5 homeschool graduates. Each week, we'll talk about real-life homeschool, mindset shifts, and practical tools you can use in your home. Because homeschooling isn't just about school, it's about restoring the family.
Hello, welcome back to Called to Homeschool. I am still fighting a cold. I don't know who gets sick like this in the springtime, but apparently it's me. So I'm excited to still dive in and do another podcast episode with you today. Before we get into today's topic of from fear-based learning to a love of learning, I wanted to talk to you about something I am doing new this summer. I'm really excited because, friends, I really want everyone who wants to homeschool to have success. I 100% believe that anyone who wants to can learn how to homeschool and homeschool well. And I really want to help. So I've decided to do my first ever in-person workshop. And this is happening Saturday, June 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in American Fork, Utah. I'm spending the first half of this workshop helping you with all your parenting concerns. I want to keep this small and intimate so I can really help you with your concerns, issues with your kids, your problems, and really help you dive in and creating something amazing. Then lunches will be provided, so we'll have lunch together. And then the second half, it will be going over the workbook, 30 Days to Ease into Homeschooling. And everyone's going to receive their own physical copy. And this workbook is actually really great no matter if you're brand new to homeschooling or you've already been homeschooling for a while. And it's really great to get that really strong foundation. So I'm really excited to do this. You can register at my website at www.coachmegthomas.com. And remember, space is limited. So if you really want to do that, make sure you grab your spot. I am also toying with the idea of taking this on the road because I know not everybody is living in Utah or can travel out to Utah or even American Fork, Utah. So if you would really like to host this workshop, please email me at support@coachmegthomas.com and let me come to you, right? So, I mean, we can do this with 10 people just in your own home, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if that's something you want to do, fantastic. Hit me up. All right. Today, I'm answering a question from Brandy from Utah, and she's talking about that it's her first time homeschooling. She has 3 kids and she's homeschooling the 2 youngest. And the one she's having the most challenges with is her 12-year-old. So she's talking about that she homeschooled this year because her 12-year-old was having massive anxiety around scores, numbers, testing, among other things. She struggles with OCD and perfectionism and would really get hung up on scores and numbers and would spiral into thinking that she wasn't going to pass her grade. All the while, she was getting great scores and passing with flying colors. It was a source of anxiety for her. Now that we are about 3 months into homeschool, sorry that this question's just barely making it into the rotation, and all of her scores and numbers and testing, they are out the window because that's what she wanted to get away from. She now has 0 motivation. She was motivated by fear in school, and now we have the opposite problem. Now that she is not being scored on any of her work, she's not putting forth effort. She's not motivated by just learning. Every day she wants to know the quickest way to get things done and races through things. She does things pretty sloppy just to get it done. There's not a lot of effort happening and she doesn't care about learning, just getting done. I don't know how to ignite a love for learning for her. This is my first time as well, and I'm struggling with the adjustment. My question is how to motivate her in ways that don't cost a lot of money and that will get her excited about just learning things and wanting to apply herself and do her best. It seems like in her mind, it doesn't matter now. My other question is about how to get her to open up in new ways of learning because so far I have met with a lot of resistance when I try to introduce new things. She seems to have a set way of how school should look because of being in traditional school her whole life. Okay, isn't this a great question? So fear can create performance. It totally does. People do it in their parenting all the time, right? Because it gets results. But it rarely creates a lifelong love of learning. So kids who are externally motivated by grades, rewards, fear of failure, pressure, comparison, school can unintentionally train kids to ask, what do I just need to do to get it done? Instead of, what can I discover? What can I learn? Or learning is fun. So anxiety and perfectionism often cause achievement survival mode. So her daughter may not actually hate learning. She may simply associate learning with stress. So when you remove fear, there is often a transition period before curiosity returns. My suggestion is actually to start with deschooling. So what is deschooling? Deschooling is not just doing nothing, but it is to help your child emotionally and mentally recover from the school model. So letting her nervous system calm down, rebuilding trust around learning that education is bigger than worksheets and scores, shifting from compliance to curiosity. If someone ran on a treadmill under pressure for years, we wouldn't expect them to immediately love running the moment the pressure stopped. So we have to get her used to normalizing maybe some resistance, helping her to feel bored, the lack of initiative, wanting the quickest path, asking, does this count? Wanting school to look school-ish. So part of this deschooling process is letting go of like school time started at this, ended at this. It was so many hours, check all these boxes, and stop trying to recreate school at home. Lots of times they say for every year you were in public school is how many months off you need of school to really get out of your system. And so whatever feels best for you. And during that time, it is not just about doing nothing, but a lot of times it is building really great habits. So one of the biggest mindset shifts in homeschooling is realizing that education is far more about academics. Their character matters, habits matter, life skills matter, emotional regulation matters, work ethic matters. In fact, habits shape a child's future far more than memorizing random information ever will. So spending time learning really good habits, relationships, time, caring for yourself, the house, different chores, and really showing her of what different things you can be doing with her time than just sitting and doing workbooks and whatnot. Also, you want to make sure that we're not trying to recreate school at home. So if you want to be a successful homeschooler, you have to let go of the school model. So real learning doesn't only happen at a desk. It can learn deeply through play, projects, conversations, stories, experiences, creating. So many good things. Charlotte Mason talks about living books. I've done so many podcasts about short lessons, narrating, feast of ideas, and attention over busy work. So we want to make sure that we are not just recreating public school at home because we're going to see a lot of the same problems and focusing on those habits. So how do you reignite a love for learning? Focusing on connection before curriculum. So can be also a lot of hands-on learning, cooking, gardening, building, art, nature study, science experiments, museums, maps, travel, sewing, entrepreneurship, photography, really great books, biographies, historical fictions, right? There's so many different things to help ignite a love for learning. So if worksheets and different things like that are just shutting her down, go with a completely different path with these hands-on learning with really good books, following her interests. Are there things that she lights up when she talks about? What are things she likes to talk about? Are there things that she likes to watch? Problems she wants to solve? And create experiences with library trips, hikes, field trips, farmers markets. So many fun things that you can do and help her to start feeling that learning can feel alive again. Now, if she's feeling resistant to trying new things, allow her. Right? There's no problem with a child resisting something. You can allow her to fill that space and do it anyway. So traditional schools create a very narrow image of learning. She may feel unsafe or skeptical with unfamiliar methods, or like, this doesn't look like school, so it must not be learning. So encouraging you to go slow, invite instead of force, being playful, avoiding power struggles. Curiosity grows best in an atmosphere of safety, not pressure. And it's great to remember during this time as well, is that we're not just letting her check out on a phone or the internet or YouTube or whatever, but letting her be bored, letting her get curious, letting her do some of these things so that she can start to ignite this love of learning. So sometimes we have to remember the goal is not to make her love this. The goal is to help her become open again. So just remember, Mom, she is not failing. She is transitioning, and this takes time, and it's taking time for you as well as you also leave the public school mindset and going into this homeschool mindset. So helping her to not just complete an assignment, but to help her become fully alive, curious, capable human who knows that learning is just part of living. And as you continue to do this, you will really help her to let go of some of this control, some of these OCD tendencies or perfectionism, and just help her to find learning again and help her to love it and get really passionate about it. Okay, friends, I hope you have an amazing week. And remember, if you'd like to come do the open workshop with me, please go to coachmegthomas.com and grab your spot before they're gone. All right, have a good one.
Thanks so much for listening to Call to Homeschool. If today's episode was helpful, the best way you can support the show is by leaving a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps more homeschool moms find this work, and I appreciate it so much.